Joe from Super Console Bros, and sorry about that, hold on. I had to adjust my webcam a little bit, but first up I just wanted to give a quick update before getting into this video. I just wanted to let you know that I have been very busy writing, which is why Drew is busy putting his Dark Souls Shield only run on the channel, and that's why I haven't been really doing any game videos, because I've actually been busy getting a book series as well as an indie game off the ground, and I am currently looking for a programmer while trying to also get ready to self-publish, because it's a series of books and the first entry is done, and I started the second entry, but I'm not going to get into the details of it. But so that's why I've been very busy. But anyway, today I wanted to get into a video, this time regarding one of my favorite games, because if you don't know, I'm a big fighting game fan, but since everybody's been talking about this, hold on, I'm just adjusting my fan. I hope that doesn't pick up very much, but it's just a little hot. But I'm going to be talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I figured if everybody else is giving their views on it, I figured I would. Now, I'm not going to talk about, or blabber on about, my, if you will, dream roster, but I will ask, where is this or where is that in terms of characters. And I also wanted to talk about what I like and dislike about the game so far. There are surprisingly a couple of things to like, despite all of the negativity the game is generating. And I'm also going to go over, what I think makes Marvel vs. Capcom, if you will. So first up, I wanted to go over that whole characters versus and functions thing that one dude brought up. Personally, that actually really pissed me off, because when I look at Marvel vs. Capcom, it is a collection of icons from obviously Marvel and Capcom duking it out, and when you see these characters, whether it be, I'm not just here to talk about the X-Men either, but I'll just give an example. The dude brought up Magneto and how Nova can 8-way dash and everything. People don't play some people might play Magneto because they like that aspect of him. A character's functions might be part of the reason they play the character, but more often than not, they like the character's moveset, and they like how the character looks and sounds, but most importantly, they are passionate about the character, and they like the character, and they follow the character. They like the character because of what they've done in the movies, or the comics, or, maybe, like, I got a Magneto statue, if you could see in the background, right over there. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. It might not look like it, but I do read online comics. I use Comixology. And I also have a small collection of manga, but that's besides the point. Characters are not functions. You're supposed to add characters to a fighting game to integrate them into a fighting game well, meaning see how they could fit in with the world, the environment, the setting or the time and place, and also you want to see what kind of moves they could do. How could you implement that? That is the first reason you add characters. The second reason is because of what fans want, and you need to find a balance between that. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not going to get everybody that you want. Obviously, you might even get some people from previous entries removed, but in most cases, they'd be replaced by some other characters that are just as nice. Or maybe even not as well known, but just as interesting move-wise, or it might open some fans up to a series. For example, as a fan of Darkstalkers, I'll just give an example. Everybody knows Morrigan, although unfortunately only from MVC. from what I've heard, it did open some people up to the Darkstalkers series. That's just one example. But, you know, with that in mind, you know, where are the X-Men? They are very iconic. Where's Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Rogue, Colossus? But, you know, I also wondered where are some of the other more, I guess, not necessarily lesser-known characters, but characters that I think would fit in well and I think would deserve a spot. This might be a little bit of a wish list thing, but it's more, you know, I'm more mad about how it's okay for Marvel to focus. If they want to focus on the Marvel Cinematic Universe for their part of the roster, that's fine. But where I have a problem is when the Marvel Cinematic Universe is dominating the roster, if you will, and they're throwing everyone else aside. Like, where's Doc Ock? Where's Green Goblin? Where's Moon Knight? Where's Blade? Where's Ghost Rider? You know, where are the Men in Black? I mean, I know that technically that's a series that Marvel bought, but I think it would be cool to see a Men in Black character. That's just me personally. But, you know, on the Capcom side, where's Captain Commando? You know, let me think. Where is Sakura from Rival Schools? You know, I think they could implement her, maybe give her some different moves to make her different than Ryu. You know, where is Rikuo? Where's Lilith? Where is, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Amaterasu's in this one. I know a lot of these are returning. And don't get me wrong, you know, I'm just giving examples, but, you know, like, Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins, fine, but why Firebrand? I mean, he was cool in MVC3, but why? You know, when you add characters, you want to add characters that are either likable, known, or you want to add characters that might be obscure but could have potential. Often, most fighting games want to go for a balance between these three things. You know, but... Oh, I just thought of something. What about a character from Breath of Fire? Or, you know, what about a character... What about Nero? What about Ada Wong? You know, what about Leon? You know, things like that. Where the frick are all these characters at? It's ridiculous. You know, I mean, it's nice they're adding things like Jeddah and Monster Hunter and, you know, Gamora and stuff like that. Those are nice, but if you're mostly going to be recycling assets, at the very least, add... I mean, don't get me wrong. People like Captain America and Hulk and Iron Man and Ryu, they're all staples. That's fine. But if you're going to be reusing assets or characters we've seen before, then why not, at the very least, make it characters that we know about, or characters with potential? Now, granted, some of these characters do have potential, but, you know, it's just in general, the roster is just looking lackluster. It's disgusting, because I feel like this game is extremely rushed, because compared to, if I remember correctly, I think Ultimate MVC3 had a total of 48 or 46 characters. MVC2 had 58. And I get it. Quality over quantity. But previous entries in the Marvel vs. Capcom series has proven that Capcom can achieve both. Which is really it's really sad. It's depressing that, you know, they pull this kind of shit and basically give a big middle finger to your fans like that, and or to the fans, and they basically are giving us the bare bones. You know, it disturbs me. You know, as a passionate fan about the game, you know, the gameplay. Now, the good aspects is the gameplay looks great. And while the voice acting is alright, while the character models and the graphics are not the best, I could look past that because the gameplay looks good. And from what I played of the story, it looks alright. We'll have to see how that's executed. Because apparently it's going to have some writers of the Marvel movies behind it, working with Capcom. So, I mean, you never know, but here's the question. Is that enough for not only me, but fans to want to buy the game on release? Is this going to be another game where you're going to end up just waiting for it to go on sale or be in the bargain bin? I really am worried that that's what's going to happen to Marvel vs. Capcom. You know, it really is disappointing. You know, other characters. I think this might be an X-Men character, but where's Iceman? You know, where's frickin'... You know, we haven't seen Sabretooth, I don't think, you know, as a character. You know, for the people that... You know, they also mentioned how people don't remember the X-Men characters, you know, for the people that watch the movies. But if you look back there on that blue shelf, you can see I've also got a Wolverine on top of that, right below that Magneto. I mean, what makes Marvel vs. Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom is its great engine, good music, although maybe MVC3 didn't have the best. It was pretty catchy. There were a couple songs I liked. But what makes it the best, what its best asset, if you will, is its plethora of characters with wonderful backstories, great history, and really good execution and integration. All these features and functions, they're icing on the cake. But now they're thinking of making the cake with just the icing. You can't have a cake with just the icing, if you catch my drift. But it just... It boggles my mind. And even though there's going to be DLC coming, I've got a feeling it's going to be kind of lackluster, what with Sigma already being the pre-order bonus, when he's obviously locked on the disc. Capcom has a history of doing that. I mean, as a fan of both Marvel and Capcom, I guess this is more on Capcom's end, but I enjoy Capcom for their franchises that they have, and when they do things right, they do things great. But when they fuck up, they do things really bad. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I just had lunch, a late lunch. But anyway, yeah, when they fuck up really bad, and I fear that MVC Infinite is one of those cases. But feel free to give me comments, concerns, any feedback. I'll catch you guys around next time. And just for the record, this will also be going up on Facebook, on top of YouTube. Catch you around, everybody.